a large conference. I thought about 50 or less. Now I can now appreciate more what she did too, because they awarded her some money, and she told me 50,000. So the money is for you. So what I'm saying is, by writing the manuscript, and the issues relating to you can learn to mastering some skills, developing some skills. That's and one thing, just like Professor Fatu said, one thing I want in the course of this fellowship, our college have been using DHA, and who did not even get the second. It's about your hunger to learn. For me, I'm of the view that Blessing had a very open mind and so much hunger that I don't know this thing. I want to know this. Opposed to those who have already known and learned very little. So because while they have already moved so ahead in their homework, she was still struggling how to come up with a topic. Kept on rejecting. No, you cannot do this. Not do this. No, you cannot do this. Because she's also a scholar, but so she wanted to go away. And that's the essence of the mentors. But is that you have to direct. No, this cannot work. For example, one of those things she wanted was people living with disability. But none of the available secondary data sets will how hard to achieve that objective. Came back to me, no, I saw in the pictures, asked a question about whether you have difficulty in some form of disability. I said, it's just a question posed to the general population of people sampled, but it's not to the specific sample of people living with disability. You cannot achieve some point, sometimes. So that's why we have to fight with the students. So, but eventually, the hunger to learn is really matters. So, some of those important data sets include but I've not used that. That's one. There are others, because in the course of this workshop, but this data set are summarized my all about. And the project has a lot of components. What are the challenges? For understanding academic, and there are places like that. Maybe you should quickly. Some institutions you cannot. What does it look like in your doctor? What does it look like in your department in particular? Mention your department and your. Oh yeah. Department of what? Criminology. We don't really use it. We can't hear you.
I say we don't normally use secondary data. We focus more on primary data.
Is it a policy issue?
It's not a policy issue. It's about it's a knowledge issue anyway. It's a knowledge issue. It's just that most of the staff in the department find it difficult to use.
Please use the microphone well.
Most of the staff in the department struggle with the usage of secondary data. So they discourage students from using secondary data. So, but
They do what?
they discourage students from using secondary data because they don't know how to
because
use
they
it.
don't know how to use it.
Yes. So it's not a policy issue.
Really, you can't give what you don't have. Also, we look stupid if you're asking your student to do what you don't know. If we're able to be able to. Earlier this year. Earlier this year. Earlier this year. Also, the chairman, you need to. Got to plan for that conference. Ah, depend on you. So, we're having we receive very different. To study. If they are not able to relate, then you are not going to have a lot of online resources. Which and was telling me, said me, I don't even know. I said Nigeria. I said, and he said he has never been to Nigeria. They only met in Ghana, and he was talking about electricity, blah 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 blah, all data of Nigeria. I said, where's this guy getting it from? So does not know. So I'm sure you will be the light, getting to it, getting, but also teaching the colleague enough. You know, it takes humility to learn. Colleagues will be humble enough to learn from you, sir, so that just average area very little. That, that ends. That is the kind of. What does it look like in your own department?
Uh, when use more of secondary data because so we collect data. I'm from the kind of economics in O, but I work in the knowledge management department in NISA. So not in economics in NISA. In OAU, I'm doing a PhD in OAU. So but I'm in knowledge management department in NISA. So we use secondary data on both invest. Yes, we do. I think the recent I think is I wanted to say the opposite of people are just integrating that they are just integrating status in primary. That because now we are understanding method is even best approach to doing a qualitative exam.
If you are not call it research. And truly, as you are doing science will be very tough with your PhD. Because you don't know where it's going to end. That's why it is called research. And if you don't get to the point and on the PhD, that PhD you are doing is very useless. A real PhD, yes. A real PhD. I finished in 2.5 years. I shed tears. Not just that it was tough. Tears came out. I don't know mean what alive. Yeah, but it was tough. It's not about the longevity of the duration. It's about the vigor I'm talking about. It's not that, for example, I don't subject my students any pay, any rigor. It be tough. Because you are trying to provide answers to some questions. So in the course of providing answers to those questions, you pass through some rigor. This is what I'm talking about. It's not about telling my student that no, you have to spend 10 years. And a lot of things will determine that. Professors will not read, not give timely feedback. The supervisor will not have time. The supervisor does not have the skill or the experience. Actually, roommate in the first. And he supervised. And they will do a lot of concrete testing. Minimum of 17 years. Because the supervisor did not know. So the whole essence of the supervisor, that's why I said, about it. Okay? But the supervisor who is a leader is goes the way and who leads the way. Only pick the out. And that's why I've passed through the one hand. On the other hand, so through my research activity, I have no it does not mean that I know everything about what my student is doing. Essentially that based on my experience, this is where this is going to likely be. Also does not know actually despite sacked, telling people back, new student, take you minimum go to UCT, send to my colleague. Years to finish. When they told him to take you 18 years, came back from Cape Town. Prof, you are right. Even added 1 year. Where I came from, don't ask where I came from. The thought of the wise always align. The foolish ones will be at variance. So they spoke the same thing. So that's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is provide answer to questions and to come up with novel answers. So if you are doing your own and it's not of it, really providing the answer, means you are probably reinventing the wheel. When you are inventing the wheel, it will be easy. And as a person, you are not what makes you to fly. But by the time they are talking about a particular issue, they remember you. What's your name again? Omiwa has done something, and you are unique in that area. If you are inventing the wheel, following what others have known for something new, that's what I'm talking So, with a poor understanding of existing data from you,
Newly, there was some else. Yes, sir. So when I got in newly, there was someone who used secondary data, but that was way back. There was someone who used secondary data, but that was way back. Since that time, seen we do more primary mixed methods, basically. You have to, yeah. Not, and even for the faculty, they really, I don't think anyone uses secondary.
The narrative is changing actually in Unimed now. So it's public health. So I think gradually, though it's still relatively new, and a lot of people don't really know about it. But I believe with all this exposure now, a lot of lecturers are latching on it, and I believe gradually it will um, fly. So, yes, a lot of people are used to primary.
yeah, it's PhD.
So the second Dr. Adeoye too.
Both of you are doing.
All right, thank you very much. I lecture in Bowen University, but I may not be able to say so much about
Department.
that. Public health. But I can't say so much about it because I just got into that. But my background has been
Got
from into lecturing. Into
Oh.
lecturing. So I don't know what really obtained there up to now. But my background has been more of residency. I did residency in Holy.
Oh, you.
And it's more of secondary, it's more of primary data. I'm not sure whether there's any policy that says you cannot use secondary data, but usually they want you to go to the field, design research ab initio, go to the field, collect data, do your analysis and do also. Then for the funding, which may be an issue, the residents have a form of funding which is yearly, but it's just not too bogus anyway. But some people leverage on that. But you have to just add additional cost. Whatever you are doing, it's on you. So it's more of primary data.
Very quiet. Yeah. Up there. Well, one major advantage of big data is that costs you almost nothing. So, fun. Two, you're using a data set whose methodology has been validated and so much respected. So if your study or your paper is going to be rejected, it's not likely going to be on the basis of methodology. Likely going to be on the basis of maybe poor conceptualization of the idea, anything other thing. And once you can pass the stage of methodology, the paper is almost 50% acceptable. Because methodology is the foundation. And if the foundation is destroyed, nothing that the righteous can do. No journal will ask you to go and revise because of poor methodology. Journal will ask you to revise because of poor writing, because of poor analysis, because of, in other words, reanalyze. But how do you revise when the data collected is already faulty? So are you now revising to go and collect new data? No. It's 200 countries at a time. Talk of 200 at in a conference or something from um, local government. I remember who said, just pasted his phone and ran away. He didn't stay there. I'm sure he would have also removed his name because I don't want to be associated with this. So there are challenges, as some of you have narrated. I hope we can learn more about this. And as Professor, what will be done here? Basically, to introduce you. Body can teach you, know something, such a way that it will make you have to do what? How much can you? But again, as we're presenting this, some thought will have come to you, and that's what we're talking about. If you then begin to think on with it, and we will a court of fellowship. Now should begin to do statement. This one I'll think. And Dr. Patrick functional growth. Public health, no you. I attended. I never knew how to use. I kept on attending. But I never knew how to use. When you remove is even better than this one you have. The other one is working. This one is not working. So, but until I sat down all the materials and also downloading more and writing a particular manuscript. I the times of that particular activity. That was what I used both to learn how to use secondary and also how to state them. And now today, so yeah. So I want to encourage you that what you're going to learn here, run with it. Make sure you run with it. So access of researchers to not sure whether it's an issue anymore. Access is not an issue. Just before the end of so access is the efficiency is actually to address. Chancellor mentioned apart from also be subsequent. That project we did also we used DHS and was so that you can plan to get funding. You know, to pay you salary to do it, to do the entire work. Huh? Everything. So, so we think it's only getting money to go to the field. No, you can get money for analyzing secondary data. Good question you have asked. We are not going to the field. So are you not being paid? It's to pay you to do the work. So more or less your professional fee. That's the type of thing I like. You also like it? I also like some good thing. I did actually did an analysis. That's secondary Nigeria, and I was I the manuscript. Will be the first author. Second author, the Hopkins University. Got there, and she contacted me that they were even begging me that, oh, please, the organization only has 80,000 per day. There was a lot of begging, and I was talking to myself today. Something that I'm going to write, and I'm the first author. Imagine paying a bird to fly, or paying the fish to swim in the ocean. Is that not what it's created to do? So, so the woman was told them that they should pay you. Truly speaking, if they want to pay me scripty for me, not for somebody else. And I'm the author, and it's one of my most cited papers now. Very interesting study, role of religious leader, role of religious. So the issue of role of religious leaders, we build data, how they engage religious leaders. I'm not the one who collected the data, analyzing the data, and not taking myself off money for something. Truly speaking, I use this for something. 2 million naira. Talking of several years back. I carry them. So you can be paid to analyze the money. All right. So we will soon go for tea break. Then we'll come back. But let me see. So we're going to be having session relating to four person research. So you can even even open our mind. So sometimes you can have the data analyze and you don't so that you have analyzed. We were only emphasizing on a particular point, but came around, began to emphasize, no, this is in your data, it's in your slide, we saw it. This should be done, this should be done. And we came up with new topic. And we can then rate on. There will be also sessions particularly to development agenda. Maybe we should go now and then we'll come back